Hey everybody. So thank you. Huge thanks. Massively grateful for everybody's continued support, continuing to subscribe to my channel, watch my videos and like them, comment on them, just continuing to engage. Also, those of you that share my videos, some of you have commented on my videos before that you are sharing them. Like that is, it's huge for me to have you share my content to other people that may be interested in the sort of stuff that I'm doing. It's quite interesting actually. Things have really started to pick up a lot. I've been obviously this year devoted to spending a lot more time creating content because of situations with people not being able to leave their homes. I wanted to double down and put more stuff out for you, and it's really kind of paying off because I've seen my channel's grown exponentially as a result of this additional content I'm putting out. So I want to start this by sort of saying, obviously, thank you. How grateful I am to everybody, because this is a new milestone, and I'm on my way to having a platform, something that I've dreamt about for a long time. I've always wanted to start a YouTube channel for many years, and I never struggled to find a genre or something that was I thought I could fit into and do well, and this is it, and it's really taken off. I've worked at this for quite a while now, and I think I have been distracted by some other projects, and that's I'm not regretting those at all. I really enjoyed doing the audiobook Punch by J.R. Park, which is available on Audible if anybody does want to buy it, but it wasn't very lucrative for me in the end. I just don't think I'm at that stage yet where I've got enough of that bigger following to really get a big sale when it comes to an audiobook yet. But I really want to do more audiobooks in the future. So I have a real passion, but it just takes up a lot of time. I also did obviously the podcast, which I'm releasing more episodes this year. So I'm getting those moving. Deliver Us, that's the name of the podcast. If you don't already subscribe to it or watch it, go and check it out. And but I think it's been really important for me to get I want to branch out into other platforms. So getting started with that is another. I don't regret it, but I have kind of let. I started off really well with YouTube and got some real traction, but then I kind of got sidetracked by those other projects and haven't really worked hard until this year at building the audience, and I kind of forgot why I started it in the first place. And it's something that I really need to remember and really need to reaffirm in my reasoning as to why I need to work hard at YouTube and create more content, is because it's about it is about the platform. It is about having an audience following that I can put other stuff out there to, because eventually, once I do get to a bigger stage on this, have more subscribers, more continued support, continued watching of my channel. Because what I need, I think, what I don't have, which is what some YouTubers have, is they can put out like anything. At the moment, mine's very algorithm based. I'm having to kind of use a lot of the keywords and terms to really get stuff that appeals to the YouTube algorithm, to get it out there to people that are already watching a lot of the other horror channels, which is finally started to happen now because I'm more consistent with the stuff I'm doing. But I want to be at that stage where even if what I'm doing isn't as algorithm friendly, I guess is the phrase I'm looking for. Excuse me, just knocking stuff over in my vocal booth. We'll get big following because I want to do some short films at some stage in the future, and I do want to do more books, audiobooks, audiobook narrations in the future. And once I get to that sort of big stage where I get thousands of views for just anything I put out there, I can probably do better when it comes to publicizing things like those. So I'm kicking myself a bit, but it's we're all on a journey. It is a I'm seeing it as a marathon, not a race. I'm not, trying to get to the finish line or anything like that. I'm still, I'm still growing, and I'm super thankful that I've got to this stage this year, and I've reinvigorated that motivation in myself. So this is going to continue. I'm still going to be doing weekly uploads consistently to continue this growth, because it's I'm really enthusiastic about it now, and I've got my motivation back. So thank you for everybody, because you've been a part of that. Everybody that's essentially watching this video, because I know the only people who are going to watch this video are my kind of hardcore fan base, the people that really like my stuff, and want to know more about me, and want to are there, have been congratulating me and championing me along this journey. I would not be here without you, which is so I'm hugely grateful to you. Other little update I've got, I know I sort of spoke about releasing t-shirts. I've got one of them on, just like standing up a little bit. I can't really bother to move the microphone, the camera. But yeah, Mr. Sinister logo shirts. They're actually, in terms of the premium shirts, they're really good quality. They're really nice fitting. I also got a premium hoodie, but it's a bit hot to be wearing in the booth. I really like that as well. And yeah, so I've got the kind of the new logo that I designed, which I may rework a bit. I don't know. I think it might be a bit too busy. I think it's kind of easy to get carried away with the design, and so I might kind of rework that. Maybe even like get a professional designer in. But so this t-shirt, this current one, maybe a limited run. Just putting it out there. So if you did want to get this kind of this logo, then snap one up. I have got a very plain text t-shirt that just says Mr. Sinister, and that's available in t-shirts, hoodies, all the garments, and also the new face masks you can get on Teespring, because we all need to there are certain areas where you have to wear those, and yeah, it's kind of important to have at least 2 face masks, I would say, because you always need to be wearing clean ones whenever you have to go outside, in order to protect yourself and others. It's best to wear a clean face mask. So yeah, they're available on the Teespring store, and I think they're live. So if you look below on this video, you'll see the t-shirts and the garments and stuff like that you can purchase on my store. No, I'm not going to be one of the. I'm trying not to be one of those YouTubers. Go and buy my stuff. Go and subscribe to my Patreon and all this stuff. Give. Obviously, it would be going the extra mile to help me grow, which would be wonderful. But I really want to create things that people really, really want to have, at the same time as helping me grow. So I did the plain text shirts, but I've got plans to do some more sort of generic horror themed t-shirts. So maybe some kind of caricatures of some horror movie actors, like villains and creatures, and what else? Also some stuff on the mythical creatures. So pictures of Wendigos, Skinwalkers, or the Dogman, that kind of stuff. Excuse me. So yeah, so that's all coming in the pipeline. I've been sort of learning to draw these past few years, so I'm kind of getting into the stuff. So it might be my own stuff. I used to draw a long time ago. I actually used to work as a graphic designer back in the day. My dad is an illustrator, so he's done a number of children's books. In fact, if you Google my name, James Deverell, I think you might find some books that I worked in sort of the design aspect of, the illustration, years ago. So there's if you can find those, then you're winning. I don't know what you're winning, but there we go. Just put that out there. So yeah, that's something that's interesting. But yeah, so create some interesting pop culture reference, horror reference, that kind of stuff that that I can sell on the store, because it's an interesting platform to put stuff out there. I know I have all sorts of t-shirts, representing things that I'm really passionate about. Mostly like band shirts. I'm really into, a lot of the music shirts, shirts for like bands I like. Sorry, just get my iPad here. Let's do this. Let's do these Q&As. I've had some great questions. I'm really excited about answering these. And I'm probably just going to read some of the nice comments that people have put out there, because there's some people that comment quite frequently on my channel, say some really nice things. So first comment on this video, on the video, the announcement video when I got to 20,000 subscribers, was from Teddy Rogers, who always has nice things to say, always commenting on my videos. So thank you, Teddy, for your continued support and comments. But yeah, he just says, I'm here for you, Mr. Sinister. Really, thank you. Again, thank you for continuing to watch my stuff and comment. It's great. And then Texas T is another person who comments a lot in the past. Said, oh, how I wish you had more. I'm always mentioning your name in other videos, which is really nice. Again, thank you for getting my stuff out there to other YouTubers. Really appreciated. Okay, so let's see, we've got some questions here. So, first questions, it's plural. She's got a couple of questions, which is cool. I think she has. Yes. So Julie Living Life commented, I'm so happy for your growth. Congratulations. So questions. What made you interested in narrating, and how long have you been interested in doing it? Do you read a lot in your free time, and what do you like to read most? Moving forward, let's get to that million sub mark. Yes, that'd be great. One day, that would be the ultimate dream come true for this. But yes, so going back to those questions, what made me interested in narrating, and how long have I been interested in doing it? It goes way back, actually. I started listening to audiobooks when I was very young, and sort of 8, 9, 10. I think even before that, around sort of the age of between 6 and 10 or something like that, I was really into the Winnie the Pooh audiobooks, narrated by Alan Bennett in the UK. Fantastic narrations, and I used to just listen to them every night when I used to go to bed, and I got very into those. And I used to memorize the stories. I listened to them so much that I used to memorize the stories, and I used to tell them at like family events, and I put on all the voices and all that kind of thing. So I was always really, it's so sad, but it's when you think about it, but I was always really into like storytelling. I've always been fascinated with storytelling, and then as I grew up, I listened to other audiobooks. I used to read a lot more fiction when I was younger than I do now. I read a lot of Stephen King, Terry Pratchett, and I used to listen to the best. By far my favorite audiobook narrator is Tony Robinson, who's an actor from England. He was in the comedy series for Blackadder, which is a great show, a very funny show, probably one of the best British comedy series ever. I could do a whole video about British comedy series that for my American audiences that aren't kind of maybe interested in some of that stuff, but hey, my British audiences as well might be interested in it as well. But there's it's a fantastic show. Anyway, he did a lot of kind of TV shows for kids, and he would narrate these stories, but he narrated the abridged Terry Pratchett novels, the audiobooks, and his narration is just fantastic. I think he's been one of my biggest inspirations when it comes to narration. Anyway, I'm going off track, but yeah, that's kind of where I got. And then I as a youngster, I got very much involved in acting, which ended up I trained professionally as an actor. And I worked a little bit in theatre. Didn't really get very far. So that's why I'm doing this. So, it's kind of I think that training has really helped with my delivery and my storytelling, and I just love it. I absolutely really enjoy telling stories. So it's been a long time that I've always wanted to do narration, but it's kind of only recently taken me until the last sort of 5 years that I've really doubled down and got into it. So yeah, that's how long, why I got interested, and do I read a lot in my free time? I don't read enough. I still listen to audiobooks because I can do it whilst multitasking. I like to listen to a lot of inspirational books. So I like a lot of the Brené Brown books. She's a big inspiration to me. I think she's fantastic, and kind of self-help books, I suppose. But there's another book. Oh, what's the writer? The Obstacle is the Way. Oh man, I need to find the writer. Obstacle is the Way. A very, very good book. Basically just about keeping going through all sorts of obstacles. Do read a little bit of fiction every now and then. But that used to be. I try and switch off from technology last thing before bed. So this is something that me and my wife try and do. Sometimes not the best at it. I do have to kind of discipline myself. But I try and focus on reading an actual physical, book rather than any type of ebook, and turn my phone off. Put my phone away and switch off from technology before bed. And so I like to read fiction then, because it's a nice way to wind down. But I've been reading I just finished reading the Hunger Games trilogy, and I'm now reading Ballad for Songbirds and Snakes, which is the latest book in that by Susan Collins, latest book in that it's the prequel, where we go back to President Snow. I love those books. I love that of those movies. I think they're really good. I don't know. I have a real thing about dystopian futures. My favourite books of all time. Just going to kind of continue on here because I'm talking about myself and I love it. But been on lockdown too long. I'm not really seeing that many people. So any excuse to talk about myself. I hope you're enjoying this. But yeah, I'm going to just give you kind of a few books that I absolutely love. Obviously, as I said, read a lot of Terry Pratchett, who's a kind of comedy fantasy writer, and sci-fi writer. Read a lot of him growing up. Stephen King growing up. James Herbert as well, who's he's sadly passed away, was a British horror writer, and it's kind of trashy horror. It's real kind of. It's not as sophisticated as Stephen King, but it's really good. It's really scary stuff. If you want to read real gross out, sort of outgrossing, scary books, then James Herbert is fantastic. The Rats series is really good, and the Magic Cottage and the Ghost of Sleeth, the Haunted series, really good stuff. Really, really good. Really captivating stuff. I love his stuff. But yeah, he's good. And I would. So yeah, if you're into horror novels and you haven't heard of James Herbert, definitely get into him. But yeah, probably my favorite. Also I love William Peter Blatty's The Exorcist. Is probably one of my favorite books as well, for various reasons. That could go on about for ages, and that's a great book. And 1984 is probably sticking with the dystopian future stuff. That's a big one of my favorite novels as well. So yeah. Thank you, Julie Living Life, for that message, for those questions. Okay, so somebody asked, Bones, the Top Hat said, so glad your channel is finally getting noticed. Also, where could people submit a story to you? You can email me. I know I've talked about this a lot. Mr. Sinister Stories, so it's MR Sinister Stories @gmail.com. I am launching a new website soon. For essentially, it's going to be like under an umbrella for a production company that's, combined, from me and my wife, because she's got a podcast out now. So I will have a new email address, with that actual production company name. But if anybody has any stories, please email them to me. There's also my subreddit that I've created that has hardly any comments. I don't think any. But it's just Mr. Sinister. That I'm hoping will grow eventually. But yeah, you can submit stories to me there, even if they're already, published on Reddit, or another narrator has narrated them. I think it's, there are comments that I've had one in the last month where I've talked about sort of griping a little bit that, I've narrated a story that maybe another narrator's written or narrated. I have no idea sometimes, because I always go to the source material. I actually never watch any other horror narrators, for some reasons. But yeah, I'm just, I don't know, like it's, I think it's mainly because my instinct is to always like compare myself, and that drives me nuts. So I try to, psychologically like not sort of compare myself to other people. But I'm always looking at narrators so I like to listen to audiobooks so I can, hone my craft from there. But yeah, so I have no idea like what other people are narrating. I always go directly to Reddit, go to the writers and ask their permission. So I have no idea if these stories have been narrated before. But I don't know if that's really a problem. Like, I know it might be a little bit annoying for some people. Like, oh, I've heard this one. But I think all us narrators have a different take when we narrate something. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Let me know if you have a real issue with it. And I'm always trying to find original stuff. But sometimes, especially if I'm trying to stick within certain themes, it can be a little tricky. And also, I'm not that hugely established, not one of those people that has, writers sending them stuff, or people sending them experiences to have them narrated on their channel, like some of the big channels do. One day maybe. So yeah, that's where you can submit stories to me. Darren, is it Darren? Yes, Darren Dorr. As we said, first of all, congratulations for hitting this important milestone. Thank you, Darren. So the first time I heard you was Unit 522's channel. The Rake vs. Dogman was the first time I had the pleasure. Saw your name in the credits and visited your channel. I was freaking blown away when I found out you were from the UK. You have a southern accent down for sure. I immediately subscribed. From there I listened to The Burning Man and how you were so cold and calculating. It gave me chills. I knew you were one hell of a voice artist. Well, thank you very much. Darren, that's a really awesome comment. That was good. It was good fun working on those projects. I did, Unit 522 is like, he's been really helpful to me right from the beginning. He's great, and he's given me a lot of advice, and he's helped me out by letting me do some collaborations on his channel, which has brought a lot of people over. And I think those ones are good fun to do. Those when because I get to really play a character there. I think I used to really go for it with the voices, and some of it got a little bit embarrassing. I think like I'd put on like a woman's voice when I was narrating a woman's character in some of my YouTube stuff, and I think like it's okay. But I don't know, it might be a bit too far. I think it kind of is a bit distracting. So I've kind of scaled back on that. But I think what I really like about doing the like radio plays, the radio on Units stuff, the Rake versus Dogman, is we get all these different narrators in, and they all play all these different characters. So I get really, because I've trained as an actor, it's a real good opportunity to like really get into a character. So I'm glad you appreciated those. And the southern accent, I think, might have been a little dodgy. I think I got better as I went along, because I got it. But I live in Georgia, in the South. I live in Atlanta, so I'm not too far away from enough people to kind of use as a resource when it comes to the southern accent. So yes, they were very helpful when I did that. So he has some questions as well. So I just kind of want to say thank you and comment on that. Have you always been a fan of horror? If so, what was your favorite story or movie? My fascination with horror goes back to, I guess, I don't know, probably I was really into the Alien films growing up and Predator movies, because they're more sci-fi horror. So yeah, me and kids, me and my friends as kids, we always used to just, love the Alien films, and I probably saw this way too young. I was very young, so I was, in my probably, I think I was about like 10, 11 years old when I watched those films. And so I think that's kind of the first like fascination with it, and then like the real kind of true horror stuff, the real kind of scary stuff. I got my first proper exposure, I suppose, was the movie, the TV movie of Stephen King's It, with Tim Curry as Pennywise, which I actually thought was really good when I was a kid. I think, as everybody says, the ending was atrocious. The ending was really bad, but there's some really good moments in that film that are really creepy and really scary. So yeah, that was I think I watched that, and then I became really into Stephen King, so I started reading his books and then watching all the movies. And that's just always been the case. I've always loved horror movies, and I think growing up in the 90s, there weren't, I don't know, I seem to remember there was a real kind of dry patch of good horror, in the sort of mid to late 90s, early 2000. I don't know, I almost feel like it wasn't until, we had the, I don't know, the Saw movies, I don't know, but like there was, it was almost when like Saw, and we had the Paranormal Activity movies with the jump scares, and the Conjuring films, like we're in a real kind of high patch, real kind of good patch of horror movies these days. I love what the stuff that's coming out at the moment. But yeah, I think I've always been a big fan of horror growing up from a very, very early age. I don't know why. I've always loved being scared, I think. But yes, favorite story or movie. I probably have to go with a few. I mean, The Shining is probably one of my all-time favorites. I can just watch that film over and over again, and I always get something weird from it as well, like some new little nuance that I pick up on. Amazing film, and I love the book as well. Very good. And then The Exorcist, I mentioned that before, the novel of The Exorcist, but I think that's a great movie. I think the fascination from The Exorcist, and I've been thinking about doing a video on this, is the I don't know, maybe starting a different channel on like movie reviews or appreciation. But The Exorcist, I was always fascinated by that because of it was banned in the UK, and I've always had a big thing about censorship. And because I've always realized that when something gets censored, when something gets banned, all it does is make people fascinated with it and want to see it even more or read it or whatever. So when I was growing up, I remember hearing about this film that was so terrifying and so brutal that we weren't allowed to watch it. At home we couldn't get it on VHS, or DVD or anything like that. And it wasn't until they had, I think the main guy from the BBFC retired, that it was released in the UK on general release. But you had to go and see it in the movie theatre, and obviously it was 18 certificate, so you couldn't. They were very strict about letting anybody underage going to see that. Even it's very different in the US than it is in the UK. If something's an 18, you have to be 18 to see it. You can't go in with your parents or an adult and them say, yeah, that's fine. Like R-rated movies are in the US. So yeah, never able to see it. So I was just fascinated with it. I think I got like a VHS copy of it that was really bad quality, and I loved it. I watched it over and over again, because I thought it was great. So yes, those are my kind of fascination. I think like more recently. Sorry, my iPad's locked. I'm trying to unlock it. More recently, I've I do love the James Wan movies, like The Conjuring and the Insidious films. I think they're really creepy. So yeah, I've always loved horror movies. Do you enjoy more true reality-based stories or horror fiction? I would say kind of more true stuff, because if it's true, it's definitely scarier. When it comes to the stories I narrate on YouTube, I try and make sure that everything is true, but I have no way of knowing, and I think it's it's difficult to find genuinely true stories all the time. But we don't, what do we know if it's true? I think like one of the ways that I read, the ways that my kind of attitude to the paranormal and that kind of stuff is I'm very much a believer in it. But I think also, there are instances where people's minds do create things, which, when you think about it on a kind of realities perspective, it is real because we're only living in our own realities. So whatever happens, whatever's going on is still pretty scary, even if it's not real, to other people. To that individual that's telling that story, it's pretty terrifying. I've always taken that stance with the whole sleep paralysis, entity sort of mindset. Obviously, the science is people are experiencing sleep paralysis; they're still dreaming, and so they're seeing these entities in the room with them, and so that's the kind of the science behind it. It's got nothing to do with like actual paranormal activity, but the flip side is, the paranormal side is that it is real. What they're seeing are entities that are coming to visit them at night. Either way, it's terrifying what's going on to these people. So it's like, it's still a scary story. But yeah, I do prefer the true stuff. So when I was talking about getting this, my 25,000 asking for questions, Darren also pointed out, he says, I see that you're wearing a Pink Floyd shirt. They are my top three favorite bands. What is your favorite Pink Floyd album? Probably Wish You Were Here. I think that's my favorite album by them. I think that's I don't know. It's just, I think that album has got me through like a lot of difficult times. I've had, I don't have that much of a difficult life, but it's a wonderful album. And I just, it's probably one of my favourite albums of all time, I think. But yeah, huge Pink Floyd fan. Have been for a long time. Cool. Thanks, Darren. Okay, good. Just reading up some of these comments. So here, someone called Tanzin has asked, what kind of story do you like to tell the most? I think it's interesting. I do really like some of the fictional, like Reddit no sleep stories, primarily because, some of the people that write those, people that really want to pursue like a career in writing. And so their skills are, their writing skills are really good. So it makes makes narrating them a real joy. So I do enjoy telling those. But I love ghost stories. I think it's interesting because I haven't seen much growth from ghost stories, the paranormal visitations and that kind of stuff. Recently, they started off quite well, but I think people are really interested in things like the Dogman, Skinwalkers, Wendigos, all of that stuff. So I want to do my podcast will primarily stick with the ghost side of things, the demons and that kind of thing. But yeah, I think, I don't know. She's also asked, would you ever branch out into reading fables or folk tales? Yeah, absolutely. That's something I would love to do. I think at the moment, it's a bit of a badge of honor as you get to like the bigger subscribers, but it also means that people can take it more seriously. So I'm hoping to get to that stage where I can get other sort of bigger writers and stuff like that to send me stuff. But also, if I want to get permission for something, I'm not going to be fobbed off just because I've only got 50,000 subscribers. It means that people can go, maybe he's a bit more serious. So I'd love to do more kind of stuff that I have to actively seek permission for, that are not just writing personal stories. Also I could sort of rewrite them as well to save on the sort of copyright aspect. So yeah, it's something I would be interested in doing. I'd love to do some European stuff. European folk tales. I think that'd be cool. So what type of stories fascinate you and make you want to dig more for more information? I don't know. I think I'm interested in this aspect of these kind of cryptids and creatures, like skinwalkers. Not skinwalkers. They're not cryptid or creature. They're more kind of witchcraft. Wendigos, Dogman, Bigfoot. The idea behind these creatures being, from a different dimension. So I think that's something that really intrigues me a lot. I think that's kind of me and my friend discuss about it when we do our little discussion videos, which we will be doing some more of soon. So me and my friend James will be doing some more. And he's working on starting his own channels about some other stuff, some kind of more like historical based things. Oh, I'm getting a dry mouth. It's really warm in the booth, and it's it's very dry. Anyway, so thank you, Tamsin. Aquamarine says, congratulations. Can't believe you don't have more subscribers. Your narration is superb. Happy for you. Thank you, Aquamarine. Okay. Iona Opate, I think is how you pronounce that. I hope I'm getting it right. Says, hey, honestly, I love your voice. It's perfect for narration. Thank you. I was very surprised when I clicked here and saw you. I guess my imagination painted a different face to Mr. Sinister. It is always fun to finally see faces behind the voices I listen to. I think, I don't know what people are expecting. I think people think I'm meant to look older. I am in my late 30s. I'm not too far away from 40. So, I think it always takes people back a little bit. Iona has a question. My question would be, how did you become passionate about horror narration, and what made you decide it was what you wanted to do? I think I mentioned earlier, I've always been wanting to do, a YouTube channel, and I first discovered, the first person that I discovered doing this sort of thing was Mr. Nightmare. And always being a lover of horror, being a lover of the paranormal and ghost stories, and wanting to start a YouTube channel, I figured this was a great genre for me because I'm really into narration and that kind of stuff. So that's it. That's where it came from. I think, as I say, I want a platform for other things, but I think this, to do short horror movies at some stage, a web series maybe, which is actually something I'm working on at the moment. Probably won't be out until next year. But I want to, really wanted a platform to be, with enough people watching, to come to just actively come and see that because of the content that I'm producing. So, so that's what got me started, and that's why I think horror narration is really big. I am actually, for those that are still interested, I am actually kind of getting another channel sort of off the ground. Something I started a while ago, but I kind of really sort of phased off a bit to get back into meditations. So I've been practicing meditation for a while. I would like to become a meditation instructor at some stage, but I record my own meditation sometimes just for my own personal use. It's I want to kind of get back on and do that, especially in today's world. I think it's important that we have these mindful breaks from what's going on. So and they have. Oh yeah, so that's the question. I hope that answers the question. That's why I decided to get into horror channels. Scarlet L, congrats, dude. Glad you're in a good place. Question: do you people in real life ever comment on your voice? I would imagine so, with it being steady and relaxing. And did you walk straight off of Planet Earth set to get here? Have a great day, man. Well, thanks. I guess the Planet Earth thing is because of a lot of people say I should narrate for documentaries and stuff, which is something I would love to do. But probably a bit of a way off from that kind of taking off. Anyway, what's the original question again? Oh, yeah. People do comment, but it's mostly on the accent, I think, because I live in the US and I'm British, so people do pick up on it. Not as like, sometimes people don't pick up on it as quickly as I would thought they would. I think because I'm like, I don't really have like a, all right, mate, kind of Cockney accent that people expect a lot of British people to have. I think they, I think it takes a minute or so. People go, hang on, are you British? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's weird. I didn't pick it up at first because I'm quite softly spoken. And I don't think I've lost my accent since being here. I'm not like, I don't think I speak with an American accent. Most of my family don't think I do anyway. And I think I was too old after moving here to kind of really adapt that quickly to a different accent. So yeah, I have a kind of very, very low key accent. But yeah, people do pick up on it, which is cool. Okay. Let's see if there's any more questions here. Patty Fetcho has just said, I truly do enjoy listening to you as much as I can. Please keep going on for a very long time. I shall try. Maybe you could do a few hours marathon once in a while. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. I do want to do like some long videos at some stage, but I want all original stuff in them. Like, I don't want to just do like a marathon compilation of all stuff you've heard before. So it is in the pipeline. Probably won't be for a while, because what I'll need to do is kind of gather up. Like, I'd love to do like a 3-hour, Dogman collection or a 3-hour Skinwalker collection. But I need to find those stories. I need them to be like all original, all really engaging, so that it's kind of worth it. Because I don't know, a lot of these people put these 3-hour things up and they're just like compilations of the stuff they've done before. But I want to reward everybody with like maybe when I get to 100,000 subscribers, I'll release a 3-hour video to say thank you. Okay. There we go. Sorry, a few more nice comments. Phil Horry has asked, hi, I wonder if you would consider doing classic ghost stories. I've just read a short story collection of Sheridan Le Fanu, and they are fantastic. It would be great to hear them via your delivery. I would like to do some classics, actually. I'd love to do some of that writer, Sheridan Le Fanu, and I would love to do some Dickens, and some Oscar Wilde. I'd love to do like Portrait of Dorian Gray. So these are definitely on the cards. Just need to make sure I'm kind of good with when it comes to like making sure they're in the public domain. I'm not going to get into any issues with it. What do people think about that? Like, I'm interested to know, like, would people jump at the opportunity to listen to that? Because I think it's going to be a lot of work. I just need to make sure that it's kind of really, gonna be a good option for me. People, because I'm sure there are versions out there you can get for free, if not pretty cheap. Would you be interested, like, generally asking you all, would you be interested in just hearing my take on stuff that's already been narrated in a professional manner? So I'm just generally interested because I'm definitely down for it. I definitely want to pursue that. So yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it as far as questions go. So thank you for those. I hope that was giving you all some interesting insight into me and what I do and my opinions and stuff. I don't know, I'm not going to really go into my opinions, but just like my history and stuff. I hope you enjoyed that. And I think things are really picking up. I don't want to speak too soon. I don't want to get too excited. But I don't want to jinx it. But I think I'm probably going to move my next milestone, because I was going to do 50,000. But I think that's going to be pretty soon. So I'm probably going to do 100,000 just the rate that things are going right now. So I will do another one I might do a live stream for 100,000. And as I said, also maybe reward everybody with a nice, like, super long epic video, of like 3 hours worth of Wendigo stories or something like that. That would be really good fun. But yeah, I'll I think so my next milestone is going to be 100,000. I think I'm going to set it at that, and then obviously the much coveted 1 million subscribers. So yeah, again, thank you to all of you. Super grateful for your continued support. I'm very happy with that. I hope I didn't miss any questions out. If I did, I'm really sorry. They did only come up on the video. I didn't see any on Twitter or on my subreddit. Check out the merch, the ones that I have available. See what you think, and let me know if hopefully some of those you might feel compelled to purchase some of those, because they do support me in a lot of ways. But yeah, I think that was pretty good. I've got a lot of plans for this channel, and I'm hoping we're on a roll now. It'd be really cool if we are. I'm at that stage. Whew, I'm worn out. These people do these continuous discussions. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go before I bore the pants off you all, and I will be back later this week with some more stories, some creature encrypted stories. So they will be I'm not just releasing this week. There will be video of narration video this week as well. So thank you. Take care. So I did have one question I forgot to read out, that I really wanted to read out when I first heard it. I was like, oh yeah, I need to read this out and answer it. But yes, it is from MK Collectibles, and I don't really mind popping this in at the end with just my voiceover, because I wanted to show some pictures of what it is anyway. So MK Collectibles says, thank you very, very much for the updates. Congrats on another sub-milestone. Question, do you have pets? And I was like, well, yes. I love my pets. I have 3 dogs. We have a plot hound mix called Destiny, and a border collie mix called Elsa, and a beagle. I think he might be mixed, but that's Cooper, and he is super adorable. They're all very cute. I love them like a ton. There was a video I put out about my dog last year, who sadly we had to say goodbye to, and we decided to rescue rescue some another dog pretty quickly, and then we wanted to get some some other get some a pack basically. So we have we have the 3 dogs, which is awesome. They're a handful, but I'm absolutely adore each and every one of them. So yeah, bring a lot of joy to my life. So yeah, just thought I'd stick this at the end. They do have their own. They do have their own Instagram account, which we need to update, called I think it's Rescue Siblings. My wife manages it, and it's just pictures and videos of them. They're very cool. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your week. Take care. Bye bye.